Good morning, everyone. Wow, such important messages we have here. It was just 10:01 on the clock, and I forgot to plug my mic in, so I had to just start over again. Now it's 10:02. The Magician and the High Priestess, both very important in this turn for the better with the 10. So yeah, really important messages coming up first. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings. I am Ha. I am Ha. I am Ha. And so it is. Okay, I hope everybody's doing really well today. So first I have to tell you, which is even as much as I've experienced, this is so unbelievable to me. So you know how I reported yesterday on my video yesterday about Plum Island and Hog Island. So then I watched Elena Danaan last night, and it wasn't her last video. It just came up on my feed. It was about Mantok, which I brought up because that's where the animals were washed up from my video yesterday. So I watched Elena's video, and she was interviewing Jason, who was a victim of experimentation as a child in the Mantok, I guess, experiments. But you can watch her video and her interview of him. But wow, it's all intertwining with what I was guided to yesterday with Plum Island, Hog Island, and I guess Kos and Evia Island and the Greek islands as well, regarding the experimentation. But what they did say, which expanded on the shipyard thing about Hog Island, which is now Philadelphia Airport, they were talking about some association to the Philadelphia experiment, but they were working on with Tesla and other of the German Nazi scientists to make their ships disappear. So obviously the Philadelphia shipyard was involved in this because they were the biggest shipyard in the world at that time. So they were working on using children and their psychic abilities to make these ships go through portals and disappear, and other things as well. So you have to listen to this video. It's like amazing that I was guided to all of these things because I knew nothing about Plum Island. I didn't remember anything about Hog Island, although I'm sure I've heard of Hog Island before since I'm in the Philadelphia area. And and so this is all also intertwined with the experimentation on the animals and the half-breeds of animals. One of the things they did say on Elena's video, talking about getting the ships to go through the portals to make them disappear so they, could do whatever they wanted, basically. He said when the ships came back that all of the men or the crew involved in that ended up going in, insane, going into institutions. And actually some of the men ended up coming back embedded into the walls of the ship. Right, I guess as the molecules come back together, they didn't come back in the same way. So really torturous information. But he said it wasn't just him being used for these psychic abilities. They would connect their psychic abilities to computers. He said it was like thousands of children. I mean, like there would be he said 300 kids, killed all at once or died all at once. You can listen to the video. Yeah, crazy. But Tesla was involved as well as some of the famous German Nazis they'd brought over to do some of this work. And I think he brought up Einstein. He brought up Edgar Cayce, which is involved with my numerology book as well. So there's a lot of parallels as well to the kind of information I connect with, which is why I was guided to the information yesterday, which is now connecting with their information that they just reported in their video. And this happens to me now all the time. So I just wanted to bring that to you. So check that out. The Union Read. I have the Union Read and the Twin Flame Read here. For those of you not familiar, I'm doing a Twin Flame 4D, 5D, 6D read, as well as the Twin Flame regular read, which is not a regular read, that's a 7-deck read. There's a lot of information here. It is a general read for everybody. And as always, no matter what I do, if something doesn't resonate with you, it's always up to you to decide what's right for you. So you don't have to connect with what I'm saying. But if you do, great. Okay. So here is the Twin Flame read. right, so this is the 4D, 5D, 6D read, the SIRIAN Starseed deck. I'm very connected to Sirius. This is the 4D, the 5D, and the 6D. The incoming divine feminine, the outgoing divine masculine. The left is the feminine, the right is the masculine, right? Incoming feminine, outgoing masculine, and the bridge between them in the middle. The underlying energies here at the top, sorry about that. And then the outgoing energies at the end of the read here. And then we have the read in front of you, which is the twin flame read for everybody, 7-deck read, a lot of energy here with 7 decks. Okay, so if something doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit. My information's below and on my website, twinflames3344.com, if you want to check it out. And the 7 decks here, because I don't mention them every time, but they are the SIRIAN Starseed deck is the main deck. We have Romance Angels, the numerology deck, which I'm very connected to numerology most of my life. We have the mini deck of Rider-Waite. We have the Gilded Tarot, the Universal Golden Tarot, and I think I mentioned them all. I always pull oracle cards at the end as well, and I have dice I'm going to roll as well. So a lot of information here. Yeah, so let's get going here. So I started this 4D, 5D, 6D union at 6:06 last night. And the divine feminine, divine masculine for today. Today is May 16th, 2021. So we have 21, 23, 25, 26 is the day today. Right? 21, 23, 25, 26, right? So 26 is the Page of Wands, which is very inspired energy, along with the 16 of the Tower. So that can go both ways, right? When you have a Page of Wands inspired, it's the most amazing energy with the Tower, right? Epiphanies and huge inspirations coming through. But if the Page of Wands is reversed, that they can be someone with their energy all over the place. They could be, have a lack of inspiration, be tired or sick, or just, like it's like an ADHD kid, who just doesn't know how to focus their energy. All over the place with the Tower could be a disaster area, right? So it's both of those polarities, along with the 7 of Wands. And yesterday would have been the Devil with the 25, which is the Knight of Wands, right? Which is the player energy for sure, right? With the Devil and the Knight of Wands, or that person falling short and going through detox. So it's either the healing of that or the player type of energy yesterday, going into this Tower energy of the inspired energy. So we have the 7 of Wands, the 4 of Swords was in the middle of the read, and then the 9 of Swords at the end of the read for the union read. So Phoenix rising to tango, counting numbers and flames in hand, thinking about or by the water, salty, detoxing heavy metals, and allowing self to get dark before you get better. It's like going through it, not avoiding it. Hiding underground, heavily grounded for not doing what you're told. There's that wound. Now go to your room and think about what you've done and stay out of the sun. Okay? So you're being punished. So now you're really being punished. You're being taken out of the sun. You can't collect your light or your energy. And you have to think about what you've done when you didn't do anything wrong, right? So where are you supposed to go with that? It's a very, confusing energy there. The incoming divine feminine here is the alchemy of the pit of the stomach. Adolf comes up, but I was getting the spices, but also Adolf Hitler comes up. And I guess, again, with the Nazi experiments that have been coming up yesterday and today. The alchemy of the pit of the stomach, Adolf crystal work. I wonder what OLF means, OLF, because I'm getting a after death OLF. O left. I'm getting OH too, like the after death O of the crystal work. I guess the vowels are coming up too, the O of the Om, after death, and then I'm getting LF is left. But you can look up OLF. If you look up the definition, put it in the comments below. But AD is coming up as the after death. OLF. I don't know if that's an acronym also. Of crystal work. Building an army of replicas each slightly different. Hiding away in the woods by the creek, not looking up and playing hide and go seek. You're it. Only both have to play for it to work. The Divine Feminine seeing 2 cups waiting in front of her when she opens her eyes. So this is also her intending her present moment, like what she wants her life to be and being in it already. Patiently aligning with crystals and nature out of the sun. So both sides, the masculine and the feminine in this union read, were being shown as kind of hiding in the shade in the woods, really grounding, because the sun's going to stimulate you more, but if you're in the shade in the earth, it's going to really ground you. So that kind of energy was coming up on both sides. The 4D here is the 6 of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the King of Pentacles. The Divine Feminine uncomfortable, giving to those expecting something, being billed for a donation you didn't agree to, or kids expecting handouts and sad that's all they want from you, or sad you can't provide the usual because of losses this year. The Divine Masculine King of Pentacles, removed lower jaw, so can no longer be someone's ventriloquist doll. Purging Akashics, crystal skull, bridging by the Queen of Swords, saying, ready, set, go. And again, remember, we're playing hide and seek as she pulls the lever and pledging allegiance to herself. The 5D here is the Ace of Pentacles, the 4 of Swords, and the Page of Cups. The Divine Feminine diamond in the rough, carbon to diamond, will need to be polished. Embedded in stone, a stone-breaking plant, the Divine Masculine with the Page of Cups, with their heart wide open, a message of love to the Divine Masculine side, making a splash, throwing themselves or their love at the Divine Masculine who's hiding out, bridging with a break, rest, or time to think, or by the beach, a shadow of a man washed up on the shore, sending out thought forms out to the multiverse. The 6D here is the Page of Swords, the 2 of Swords, and the 3 of Wands. The Divine Feminine got to the light, as small as it may be, that little light o' mine, I'm going to let it shine. The Divine Masculine present to all that is, the 3rd flame and the gift of the moment with heart open wide, bridging by, floating on air when the ocean meets the sand, the rocks, and the tide. So then we have the Divine Feminine side here, sharing and offering a new life with a message of light, transmuting drama into sight. The Divine Masculine, King of Pentacles, with dental work, or working on skull with the Page of Cups out of water, onto dry land. Mays Landing, I was getting here, and that's actually a town in New Jersey that's not far from me. Bridge comes up here, the Queen of Swords, pulling the truth trigger one last night before a break, perhaps walking transmuter and doing grid work together here. All right. So at 721, which is the Chariot and the World complete, coming full cycle, the outgoing Divine Masculine is strength, reason, and the Ace of Cups. A sneak attack on the Emperor, or catching them burning the evidence. The King of Pentacles through the Ring of Fire. The hand that rocks the cradle is tossed and shift. Big love projects out from the deep, clear aqua. Love, which is the mother love, exuding to hiding, grounding Divine Masculine. And then the number for this read comes up as the 55, which is Excalibur and the truth, right? The sword and the stone. The horizontal pillars came up as 21, 14, and 20, which is the World, the Temperance card, and Judgment, and then the Ace of Swords of the 55. And the vertical pillars came up as 7, 8, 5, 7, 6, 3, and then 10. So the message is coming out as the world being patient for judgment, the final judgment, and the truth to be told. On the other side is the 10 of Pentacles, the Hierophant, the Chariot, 9 of Swords, and the Wheel. And the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or that ultimate family, right, heaven on earth. The institution traveling It's like the institutional traveling nightmare, destined to the truth coming out, which is kind of the information I was just talking about the institutionalized men and children that were abused in those experiments. And then bold and strong in separation and suffering in silence, destined to the truth. So all of those who've been through that, boldly grounding the 5D connection, the King of Wands patient with a higher love, of lovers, the hermit and the magicians, and their truth coming out as well. So then we get into the twin flame read, and I just want to hit the little clappers here. Take a deep breath. And I'm going to roll the die before I start this read. So this is for the twin flames. And I was just looking at the bow and arrow here, the Sagittarius energy. So let's see what comes up for you guys. So we have Aries, and Mars comes up, which looks like the Sagittarius symbol, and the number 4. All right, so we have the 4 of the Emperor, and Mars. Okay, and then we also have Aries here, so the Ram. So again, the Ram is in your face, right? They're not afraid to say what's on their mind, right? They perhaps need to hold back and think about things or feel into things first before saying things sometimes. But there's also a purpose for every sign, and that is for Aries, there's a purpose of getting in someone's face when things need to be said. And also it's very, physically, moving forward, getting moving, helping other people light a fire under their butts. As we go from Taurus now into Gemini season, right? So today is the 16th. So we're going to be in Gemini very soon. And I think the North Node is still in Gemini. The SIRIAN Starseed deck for this read was cut and dealt at 733, which is the Chariot, and the 33 of the Christ vibration. The 7 of Wands, standing up for yourself, taking the high ground without being defensive or getting triggered, or allowing yourself to get triggered but walking away and not taking it out on somebody else, but just, taking responsibility for your feelings and your actions. And then completing this read at 752, which is the Chariot and the 52 of the Queen of Swords. We have the major arcana of guidance, which is the Hierophant card, higher self, the High Priestess, and then alchemy, which is the Temperance card, and the Hanging Man here. So we have HS and HM. It's kind of like the Tetragrammaton, right? HS, HM instead of, YHWH. Instead, this has come up as HSHM, which is the higher self and Hanging Man. So we have 2 cups, 2 pentacles, 1 sword, and 1 wand. So we have the 2211, which is the Fool and Justice again. We have the Page of Pentacles as the only court card in the read, very significant because the Page of Pentacles is very curious and all about new manifestations. Before the read was the 9 of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Knight of Pentacles. And after the read was the Page of Cups and the Page of Swords. So you have 3 pages here, and a Knight and a King. We had, as far as the numbers here, double 3s and double 4s. Most significant was the double 4s of mastering, grounding, and integrating of love, and 33 of the Christ vibration. We also had double 10s, which is that very high vibration, just a reminder. The 1 of the Magician, 3, 4, 5 of the 3D, 4D, 5D, and that's also the going into the 4D bridge to go into the second or the 4th density, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3 is the 3D, 4, 5, 6 is the 4D, and then 7, 8, 9 is the 5D. So the other numbers that came up here were 12 of the Hangman, 23 of the King of Wands, 34 of the 8 of Wands, 56 of the 2 of Swords, 69 in a lesser sense of the Ace of Pentacles, which is that offer of a perfect life of contentment. And then again, in a lesser sense, 9, 10, a reminder, begin again and again and again. Every time you expand, you need to come back to center again to stay present. So the code line here was all about environment, a green environment. The underlying energy we're coming away from was teaching and learning, which will come up in the read. But just so you know, that was purple energy. And then we're going into a much more green energy with also some orange in there with the sacral chakra. So again, going through this from the sacral chakra to the heart chakra and to the throat, but not fully into the throat. So a very green environment being focused on today. The only number in the code line was the number 4. So again, the Emperor. And 4 is all about stability, building, and survival on the lower level as opposed to manifesting your dreams of the 8. So the message is coming from the code line today, revolving around the higher self. This is the way it was coming up. Christ, Imana, and Imana is the Pleiadians' word for the female God energy that they describe. Christ, Imana, AC/DC, alternating currents of the Christ God, and the liver coming up, and the liver holds anger. Higher self, and connecting with the higher self for a greener environment here. And 4A, the number 4 and A may be significant for someone. Neiman Marcus also came up here. Neiman Marcus and air conditioning. I don't know if their air conditioning went out, but it was all about work and employment, bustling for them, to be full of people who are busy in a foreign environment here. So I don't know what that has to do with. If you guys know anything about Neiman Marcus and why that's coming up, let me know. So another way the message was coming up as there is no message really here today, so never mind. The nanometer was coming up of AC/DC, so alternating currents, or air conditioning. That can regard the King and Queen of Swords, right? Conditioning the air signs, the thoughts and words of our mind. And blind men and orphans comes up under orbs as well. And the Christ God here, right? The Son of the Sun. That they are really all one. So the house CD or staple, attractive, fair, impartial, and or sophomore-ish, right? We have the 2-year-old sheep and the 2-year-old doe coming up here. Or their second year, so the sophomore energy comes up. The younger one, the ones who are impressionable and green, so you can manipulate them. And the allegiance to the team with the higher self, and the handshake was coming up as opposed to signing a contract for a Jesus environment. Okay, so obviously it's regarding the you-know-what that we're dealing with. And then the other way this was coming through was the nanometer, AC/DC, again, the alternating currents, the CFO, or that's the Chief Financial Officer, or however the CFO comes up for you, the nanometer AC/DC, the CFO, the I, higher self, not higher self, but you are going to employ yourself for that green environment regarding the foreign environment, okay? If you get my drift. So when you employ yourself, you don't have to worry about what everyone else is going to make you do. And it's 10:25 on the clock, which is that Wheel of Fortune, the turn for the better, and it just turned to 26, which is, again, the Knight of Wands and the Page of Wands, which were the days yesterday and today. So again, that very inspired and physical, passionate movement coming up here. So we start out with the 5 of Cups upright. 5 of Cups upright and the underlying energy here, many cards on top, and I go 5 cards down here and 5 cards forward here that I actually have over on here, on the side over here for room. But I do the 5 and 5 because it makes the read 21, which is a completion of the world, the 21. So we have the 5 of Cups upright. Beneath it was the 9 of Cups upright, the King of Cups reversed, the 3 of Swords upright, 10 of Wands upright, and the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And then on top, the 5 of Cups upright. So getting your wish, happy with self, self-love, self-satisfaction, the King of Cups reversed in separation or broken heart, burdened or working too hard, and not getting anywhere, no movement, stubborn or heart block, unable to function. The wounded warrior moving to peace, destined or about time, after burdened by the King of Cups reversed, the King of Pentacles reversed may have been released from a negative past or a bad childhood or the past returning or released from kid duty, so whatever you had to do. At 821, which is the strength card, and then the 21 of the world coming full circle. And 8 is the dance. So then it was 822, which is then going into the dance of the fool with an open heart and a leap of faith. Present to unhappy family, or an ending to an emotional cycle of unhappiness, in a losing battle with judgment, announcement, calls, or wake-up call, waking up the dead. Aroused by music or sound, angelic realms, or Michael's clarion call to get kids excited about the need for sunshine, or juggling and draining, announcing and performing, or music performance here, perhaps doing a jig to get the kids inspired, a Leo or pet, anyone involved here to get them inspired, being a clown to make the kids smile, or using the kids to or using your kids to know if somebody else is actually trustworthy, because kids are very good about their instincts and who they like and don't like. The one with all the kids and the animals, who gravitate towards them because they know that they're a pure spirit. Or women and kids get it, but not the divine masculine who's drained by it. The same old song and dance to get the kids to get dressed, grieving and draining in a breakup or lack of affection. Lovers reversed, but the Two of Cups is upright with the Empress reversed and the Magician upright. So you see the AC/DC, the alternating currents here? Making a deal behind the scenes. And I was getting here behind the series right here as well. So I don't know if that's a series of events, a television series, but Sirius can be coming up here as well. Making a deal behind the scenes, or series or Sirius, not telling the Empress reversed about it. Or this could be condolences coming in about a mother who may have passed. Magician manifesting or taking the Empress to a show to cheer them up. Soulmate comes up and healing family issues. Caught with their pants down or in the weeds or the woods. Drained or overexposed or sunburned where the sun shouldn't be shining. Starting over, no longer on the fence. The King of Cups reversed, released from energy stealing or to catch a thief. While a couple is together, starting over, the King of Cups reversed is no longer taking off or making off with the goods, no more leaving food out on the floor, no more sweet treats or sweet tweets and stockings, no more scissors, magnet, coin, or co-creating with the King of Cups reversed, right, who's emotionally unavailable or has alcoholic issues or is over-emotional. If he wants to abuse himself, then he will. So this is about you allowing others to have their own sovereignty and make their own choices, no matter whether they're for good or for bad. That person has the right to make their own decisions. Teaching and learning with number 57, the Three of Swords, and beneath that, domestic harmony, 46, which is the Six of Cups. So we have the Queen of Cups reversed, rising above. Now she's upright in most of the read, but in this one underlying energy, the Queen of Cups is reversed. So she's rising above, awake and coming out, avoiding sudden changes and another sudden event, or after a sudden event. The Magician is upright with major manifestation, putting all their cards out on the table, showing their hand, dumping emotional attachments to the Knight of Pentacles reversed, stuck, unstable, moving or visiting, or ending a marriage. Now remember, when the Magician's showing their hand, they're magicians, so they're not really showing you what they're doing. So remember that energy. No more bunny in the weeds, or mess in the yard, or leaks in the ceiling with vines or weeds growing through, or the electric down due to a flood in the ceiling. Unstable house, grieving loss, regret, shame, and or the past, and drained, in need of the sunshine, the Magician's upright, released magically in separation at 843, which is strength, and then the Three of Cups coming together. The Emperor passed, or transitions, the dark night of the soul, social distancing, and bad influences or third party from the past, destined breakup or lack of affection, recovering from the King of Swords reversed, who can be a very nasty man, right? Because he could be a liar, he could be a verbal abuser, but he can also just be lying to himself. He could just be having a bad day and, giving someone the silent treatment or just hiding out because they can't deal with their triggers today, right? So the Page of Pentacles reversed manifesting with the Page of Wands upright instead. In the recent past is the Page of Pentacles reversed, unable to manifest, right, or in need of help, money or opportunity. Could be a student who needs help with their homework, but they're unable to manifest, get something off the ground, or perhaps find an opportunity for a job or for school, or unable to get invited to something they want to get invited to. While satisfied with self, the Queen of Cups is upright here, the Divine Feminine in the 5D, or with Pisces reversed and Scorpio reversed, under the radar and frustrated by hard work or their weight, or just working out too hard, maybe hurting themselves at 8:48, which is the dance and the walking away or leaving. So recovering from depression or Hierophant upright, the Injustice and or Taurus upright and Libra reversed, resisting sudden changes or after sudden events and needing to clean up the mess. Pisces, Scorpio, and Aquarius all reversed, and then Taurus upright and Libra and Scorpio together reversed again. The Page of Pentacles reversed in need of help or never learns and is unstable and sad or grieving the past. The foundation here is the Three of Pentacles upright, the workplace, establishment, perhaps a religious leader, Taurus, presenting the truth to help them choose their path, or the truth to the twin. The injustice and discomfort with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, community, or world at large, or legacy. The central energy here is the guidance, the Hierophant, upright, as work, ending conflict, and waking up under the radar, or seeking attention, and challenged by the higher self, letting go to repair and offer love, post-war PTSD and looting, settling out or sharing to come together. With the King of Wands reversed, right? He can be a physically abusive person, or he can just be tired, exhausted, or perhaps being sick right now. But he can also be out of control, pissed off. Seeing synchronicities of the Queen of Pentacles, who's having options, but the Queen of Pentacles is coming out, or with Virgo in their chart. Emperor and Queen of Cups, passing sweet judgment, or being judged by a sweet child, oh mine. Starting over in an energetic exchange, released from bondage, sad or feeling bad, or embarrassed and taking off, feeling guilt and shame about the King of Wands reversed, or the King of Wands reversed is feeling guilt or shame, and then choosing the wrong path, so feeling guilty about that, or to see their own shadow come out. Now moment is the alchemy, patience, the negative self-talk, or getting past rumors, and the Page of Cups, loving child or message, defenseless to the Hermit reverse, coming out with a message or visit. The Knight of Cups offering love in energetic exchange, with the Queen of Wands reversed, apart from the King of Swords reversed, who's not sleeping or getting blocked, or awaking to an offer of love from the Devil, Capricorn, or temptation, their ball and chain. The Knight of Cups ending the nightmare with new information and starting over with love, with the Queen of Wands reversed, though, being very difficult. After a jealous rage, the Magician here is hangry and awake, dealing with this at work, trying to juggle, perform at night, with the Emperor weak or pet needing to go out, and needing courage to face the Queen of Swords, talking about depression, being dead tired, or Aquarius and Scorpio both reversed, but knowing that the worst now is over. Soon here is the Four of Cups reversed, coming into the shore, heartbroken and unable to function post-war, with the King of Wands reversed, present to chronic suffering and always on the go at night, or Cancer driving the family crazy, or driving to visit with family. The twin flames seeing themselves as destined with the Wheel upright here, after an ending of an emotional cycle of unhappiness, standing up for themselves to those who lie, cheat, and steal, and blame the family, or holding their tongue and ghosting others. The Page of Cups moving in a judgment or announcement to the Page of Pentacles reversed, kids causing instability perhaps, and give your relationship a chance came up for the twins. Engagement, that your relationship's moving up to the next level basically. Honeymoon, and that's time away, and then you deserve love, of course, that you are lovable, and that's that Sagittarius energy of the arrow being pointed right at you. So around the twins, or how they're seen, is the Four of Swords reversed, the Knight of Wands reversed, falling short of offering a new life, drained by kids, pets, or Leo, and or ego, and this is the King of Cups, but I was getting the key was reversed. So the key taken away, or found, or turned the key, like a turnkey situation. And this is all coming up at 9/11. So some kind of emergency where someone left a key with someone, or they know where the key was left, but it's the key reversed. So not being given the key, needing to find the key, or figuring out the key, or turnkey, or type of situation. Where a kid has to let themselves in the house. So at 9/11, the twins challenged, or their block here is the Hanging Man reversed. That can be someone with an ego. It can be a new idea, right? A light bulb moment. It can be the awakening. The patient angel allowing the fall to reap rewards on a trip. Environment, that can be tripping up as well. Environment comes up here, but very green environment, significant here. And even more so, change, allowing change, and individuality, allowing each person to be themselves. The Page of Cups, unable to express self, destined to be around lots of females. So if you're a male around a lot of females, maybe you're not, you don't feel like, or you haven't your whole life felt like you could be your true self. A lot of frustration here with the High Priestess and the Page of Wands. So there's definitely secret energy here. Maybe, but very inspired. Psychic abilities. So the High Priestess, secrets or psychic abilities, come up with the High Priest, and the Page of Wands is very inspired. Inspiring them, and yet unable to light their fire here. The Page of Cups throwing their heart, or throwing themselves at or to the Page of Swords reversed in negative self-talk, or ignoring them. That can be anyone who's really negative communication as well. The Page of Swords is the most negative communication in the deck, right? Because they're immature to begin with, and now they're reversed. So they're either, have a potty mouth, or they lie, or they're spying and doing God knows what, right? So that can just reference a message of any kind. It can be online messaging that is negative, or it can be a child who's negative like that, or rumors out. The Page of Swords assuring them that the worst is over. Surrendering to peaceful travels, to or with the family, business, or community, or world at large, letting go a bit and aligning with sovereignty, or a sovereign person, right? The single person who has everything they need. So there may be grief at work here, destined to rise above. The Page of Pentacles reversed, needing to learn with guidance, and the challenge being the higher self, starting over, awake and patient, but frustrated, with the Page of Cups upright and the Page of Swords reversed, surrendering to peace with the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or the world at large. Guilt and shame coming up around the Page of Pentacles reversed. Who never learns, is unstable, or an unstable house or home, or moving, taking a visit, or gathering at work, or a church wedding. Guidance, and this is coming up as something small, guidance with patience and challenged by the higher self, Pisces, or psychic abilities. The wheel destined to turn and start over and come ashore, rising above, waking, and more awakening, needing to light a fire under your butt, of their butt, of the Page of Cups upright and the Page of Swords reversed, right? The children who are unmotivated perhaps, and surrender to peaceful travels with the family, business, or community, or dream life, or in other words, heaven on earth, at 9:51, which is the Hermit and the King of Swords. All right, so let's pull our oops, I just dropped my book down the crack there. The crack that broke your mother's back. That was just coming up now. I don't know if you might have, broke your mother's heart because you are you. And that's going to be her wound to heal, not yours. So we have the animal spirit deck. I'm just getting a hook, but it's very feminine. There's a hook and a dangle. I was just getting, yeah, like poopy dangles or something. What are they called? Can't think of that. Is it just dangles, or I think there's another word for that. That's coming up here. I'm not sure why. It could be a dog, you know, who's bringing his poop in the house, but it's coming up as a female energy. So from the animal spirit deck here, we have the lizard and the owl. Oh, it's like the lizard wants to give the owl a kiss, which is actually very sweet. Like a moth to the flame. And then watch out for the hyena. Okay, but the hyena looks like they're going away, right? They can't fight love, right? So there's very different energies here. We have fire here. This is air, another air, and then another fire. So a lot of fire and air right here. So let me feel on that for a minute to see what's coming up. And I want to show you the bottom of the deck. So we have the bat at the bottom of the deck, which always comes up as the mouse growing wings, right? Because the mouse is very frightened. But they grow wings to be able to fly above the ground so they could save themselves. And here's the earth, you know, and the bat flying in the etheric realms. That's, you know, coming up as divine masculine in the bat cave. Like a little bit scared, but learning to fly in the etheric realms after being the star and being more superficial, because the star comes up around superficiality, that they don't learn to go into their deeper self. So here is that scared mouse flying in the etheric realms, you know, grounding themselves, learning to not be afraid, and knowing who they are. And the owl being wise and knowing that just because they look a certain way doesn't mean they can't be a very sweet soul here, right? So the little lizard coming up regarding children, perhaps, who perhaps act like a very, 3D parent that you may be dealing with. But knowing, it's like a moth to a flame, the light. The light works on everyone. If the dark don't like the light, they'll go away. But if they like the light, they'll come toward you. So all you need to know is to be light. This is so important right here. Here's that example. If you are just exuding your light, the hyena will go away if they don't like the light. But even the lizard who wants to be light will come your way and listen to you. Like a moth to the flame, those who have that light will all be attracted to light. Those in the dark who don't want to change will, like the hyena, just go away. So you don't need to know what to do. All you have to know is to shine your light. And when someone come against you, you wrap your light in them. If they stay, you've been able to help rise their vibration. If they walk away, that's their choice. Like a moth to the flame, you can't resist the light. You either can't resist it or it repels you. And that's how you know. Okay? So we are going to read the lizard there. And I'm going to shuffle from the Journey of Love as well. It could also be, it's like, if the masculine's struggling with their etheric abilities right now, they're a little bit afraid of facing, lizards or reptilians, that kind of thing. Remembering that all they have to do, when they're in fear, then they attract those negative energies. But they're in love and send love out, they'll either go away or you'll know that it's that good energy. A light energy will always let you know it's light. A dark energy won't. But if you send love their way, or wrap them in your love, and don't be in fear, because then you pull in those negative energies here. But some of the masculines may just be getting their footing regarding all that stuff. And let's see what the lizard says here. So the fire lizard, and let's see. Okay, so the lizard says, intellectual, sensitive to subtle, and dreamer. The lizard's an expert in the realm of sensory perception. As if it has a sixth sense, the lizard hears what is not yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down And again, this could be using children again for their senses. Big crowds, lots of travel, or overstimulation will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card's an indication to pull back from the bright lights and the big city and return to their inner artist who's been whispering your name. So again, that was coming up in the union read too. It's about being in the shade, not in the sun, when you get overstimulated by too much around you. So when the lizard's in balance, they're artistic, telepathic, and spiritual. When they're out of balance, they're elusive, non-committal, and flaky. To bring themselves back into balance, a creative project for a lizard type personality. Okay, the instinctual, sensitive to subtle, and dreamer. So then we have the journey of love. Let's see what comes up for the journey of love. And remember, we had Mars, Aries energy, which is a very aggressive energy. So that may be why they're recommending you stay out of the light, the limelight, because there's a lot of fire, aggressive energy out there. And the eruption to, look at that, eruption of the light comes up here. So we've been talking about nothing but the light in this oracle card read. The light regarding being your light no matter what, that people who don't like the light will walk away, they'll be repelled by it. And those of the light will be, it's like a moth to the flame. They can't resist the light. So when you have too much stimulation, with a lot of people being drawn to you, then it's time to go into the shade and isolate, and perhaps be creative to restore yourself into balance again. So again, this is the Hieros Gamos energy of coming to 0 point, where then the light shoots out. The 11 of justice, which is truth and balance. And we also have let the feminine lead the way in this. So again, this is coming up regarding Batman being a little bit afraid of the etheric realms and not quite there yet. Okay, so let the feminine lead the way. And then we also have the sensual awakening, which is the end of the pain and the bliss coming in. So when you're all stressed out because of too much light or too many people around you, too much chaos, you can't feel the bliss, right? When you're stressed out, you don't feel anything. It's just like why we get injured in our journey or we get sick, because the universe is trying to force us into quiet time to connect with our body and understand how much power we have inside ourselves, not outside ourselves. So when you're stressed out and you let the world stress you out, you can't feel your higher self, right? And look how this connects. Look, this came up this week a lot. Look how it just automatically connects with this swirl here from her picture. So take away the eruption of light and just connect with the swirling of yourself, right? This is like the energy of the blood pumping into the heart and out, and becoming more creative with your energies, as opposed to, dealing with this eruption of light, because it can be too much at time for our bodies. So again, know when to take it easy and come back and just be creative. And you see how the colors change too? This is very high dimensional, right? Because it's the heart and the throat, very much so here. Really connecting with others with your talents, because you're connected with your psychic abilities and your heart connection, your telepathic connection. But there's not a lot of purple here. This is more about your heart connection. When you're really connecting a lot with your heart and your voice, because you're verbalizing with other people, it can be very draining. And then you need to come back to your creative side, okay, and connect with this swirl here. It's so cool how the pictures come together there. It's like, I love how it's just showing you creativity, how her hair turns from straight or a little bit wavy to more curly or wavy over here. And the color, you could change your hair color to red, whatever you want to do, play with your, you can play with your lower chakras too, the reds and the oranges and the yellow. You don't have to avoid that. You can integrate all of the colors into the purples and blues, right? They're all part of you. What do you think the color white is at the top? It's all of the colors of the rainbow combined, and allowing all of those colors to be part of your life. Okay, so let's read the eruption of light, which is number 11. These two are 39 of the Knight of Cups and 64 of the 10 of Swords. But the sensual awakening is about the swords falling out of your back because of the 39 being love. and loving yourself first too. So if it's too much light, you need to come back to moderation again, rebalance again. So eruption of light says your every prayer is a power-packed eruption of light beamed into the divine presence. Some pray with, it was just 49:49 too on the clock here, which is the get your wish card, wish granted times 2. And remember, you get 3 wishes. It's 10:52 on the clock, which is the Queen of Swords. Some pray with fear and doubt, as though the prayer is not doing much. Yet you understand that prayer is powerful, that it's divine action set in motion. Your power of divine prayer emerges from your heart and out through your throat, whether you speak or sing your prayer silently within your own mind or aloud for all the world to hear. Let your prayers be vocalized as feeling expressed to the divine, in words or song if you choose. You have the power to heal at your fingertips and your vocal cords. So again, remember I told you it's very much about the heart and throat combined right here. Through your voice, you can heal. Let your hands be joined in prayer, position at your heart, and your mouth open to let the breath of your spirit move through your throat, creating a sound, which is so funny because when I found that little birdie on the grass yesterday, they just sit there with their mouth wide open. Even it was like a full-grown bird because he was pretty grown. He just sat there with his little birdie mouth open. He was so sweet. So the breath of spirit moving through your throat, creating sound as you speak, so shall it be. This oracle holds a message for you. Your words have more power than you may realize, and you have a special ability to heal with words, to bring light where is needed, and to uplift through simple kindness spoken. You also have a message to bring. It might be an urge to write or speak on topics that are close to your heart. You may also simply have the need at a soul level to share from the heart with others when you're engaged in conversations. This oracle says your voice is a part of your power. Do use it. Life begins with love to complete itself again. Symmetry is born. Okay? So always coming back to center again in that balance with your eruption of light. But it's again urging you to use your voice, that it has so much power. And as I always say too, your eyes, even when I was doing Reiki and practicing it, when we were learning Reiki on others, they would say that where my eyes were being focused was, they were feeling that much, even much more so than where my hands were being focused. So your eyes are a very powerful tool as well. Okay. So make sure you drink your water so you're very well hydrated, so you don't feel bad, but also helps you connect to the etheric realms. Make sure you get plenty of rest, because they do a lot of work on you when you have long periods of rest. They're able to do more. And also get your joy, keep your vibration high, and nature, which grounds you. And rise and be love. Bye.